Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Katie, and I'm going to tell you the story of Peter, the Wild Boy. In 1724, in the forest of Hamelin, there lived a boy. He loved it in the forest. He was surrounded by trees, a flowing river, and loads of wild birds and wolves, and he crawled on his hands and knees looking for onions to eat. He knew when it was day and night, because in the daytime the wolf will howl, and he knew it was light, and when it was night time the owl would twit to woo. One day he was sound asleep and he could hear footprints coming through the forest, and it was some hunters. He was scared. He couldn't speak. He can only grunt. And as they went and caught him, they brought him away into town, and someone called him Peter. Over at Kensington Palace, Princess Caroline, who owned the palace, heard about Peter and wanted him to come in her presence to stay at the palace. So they transported Peter from Germany over to England. He was presented in front of the royal courtiers and two royalists called Daniel Defoe and Dr. John Arbuthnot. Dr. John Arbuthnot was teaching him how to eat, how to speak, and how to dance, while Daniel Defoe was writing down the notes of Peter. First they taught him how to eat with a knife and fork. He didn't want to do that. He would rather go eat like a wild dog would do. Then he taught him how to speak, saying, "Say Peter, Then they taught him how to dance. And they put on some beautiful clothes. He didn't want to wear that. He would like to stay in his raggy shirt. They couldn't teach him any of these things, and they said, "Your Majesty, we cannot help him anymore. He will have to leave and live somewhere else." He went to work at two farms, but the farm he stayed most at was the Broadway farm, where he was walked by the farmer and his wife. They showed him how to milk the cows, feed the chickens, feed the lambs. He loved it there. He was nice and free, like he was at the forest. He likes to wander, and he wandered off the first time, and he was found eating apples in the orchard. Then he wandered off the second time, but this time he was lying on the grass looking at the sky. The third time he wandered off, and the farmer and his wife tried to find him, but he was nowhere to be found. We haven't heard from Peter for at least 3 months, and at the end of October there was a fire starting at the Bridewell prison near Norwich, and they had to get all the prisoners away to safety except Peter. He was fascinated with all the flames, and he would make pictures out of them. Eventually he was rescued, and the story went into a newspaper. Then he was safe. Back at Broadway Farm, they were wondering how to keep Peter safe from running away. So they picked up a collar which was leather, and they put it around Peter's neck so he didn't run away again. And it says, Peter the Wild Man from Hanover, whoever will bring him to Mr. Fay at Berkhamsted, Hertfordshire, shall be paid for their trouble. So as he was still at Broadway Farm, he was getting older, and he liked to sit down in his favourite rocking chair, which we've all got our favourite chairs, drinking his gin and eating those onions. And he stayed there till he passed away. At the graveside, people still now put flowers at his graveside, but none of us knew who that person is. We hope you enjoyed the story of Peter the Wild Boy.